In 2017, a shocking crime rocked the cruise ship industry when Kristy Manzanares was brutally murdered on board a family vacation. The case garnered national attention and raised questions about safety and security on cruise ships. Join us as we delve into the details of this tragic case and explore the impact it has had on the cruise industry. Don't miss this gripping true crime story. Kenneth Manzanares and Kristy Manzanares married in 1999 after he fell in love with her and decided he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. The couple had 3 beautiful children and were married for almost 18 years. But the reality of this couple was far sadder than anyone could have imagined. Just like any other couple, they had their conflicts, but with them, the problems grew each passing day. They had more arguments and conflicts, which ultimately created distance between them. To save their relationship, Kenneth thought that it would be nice to throw a big party to celebrate his 18th anniversary with his wife Kristy, and booked a vacation on the Emerald Princess cruise ship in Alaska so that they could work things out. And of course, the best decision is to take a vacation on the Emerald Princess cruise ship in Alaska, because it promises to be a truly unforgettable experience. From the breathtaking scenery of glaciers and wildlife to the luxurious amenities and dining options, there's something for everyone on this ship. Whether you're looking for adventure or relaxation, the Emerald Princess offers a wide range of activities and entertainment. So it's the best idea to spend some precious time with your loved ones and be happy. Kenneth also invited some family members to celebrate. All of them assumed that they would have the best time of their lives, but no one could imagine the trauma they were about to experience, and how the vacation they thought was one of the greatest turned out to be a tragedy. In July 2017, the couple and the family went on board the cruise ship to celebrate the big event Kenneth had planned. The family was having dinner together when things started to go bad. Kenneth started drinking heavily, and after that, he started acting rudely. He began to kiss Kristy without her consent, which made her feel out of place and uncomfortable. Kristy's brothers started to confront Kenneth about his misbehavior with his wife, which led to them having a full-on argument. And soon, the dinner, which was supposed to be a fun time for the family, became the reason for an intense argument that got so bad that everyone decided to go back to their cabins. The party turned into a tragedy. Kenneth had booked a lavish cabin for himself and Kristy, where no one thought such a heartbreaking scenario would take place. The couple had another heated argument in their cabin, and things got bad so quickly that Kristy finally made up her mind as she told Kenneth she was done with him and no longer desires to be a part of this mess anymore. Kristy was ready to step out of this relationship and had been suppressing her feelings for a long time. Kristy kept saying, "I'm done. We need to figure out a way to get you off this boat in Juneau. I knew you'd find a way to ruin this trip." The daughters were terrified by their parents' unusual, unanticipated conduct, particularly on their wedding anniversary. When the subject of divorce came up, Kenneth instantly knew that the conflict would continue to escalate, so he sent his 3 children outside of his room. The girls chose to visit their aunt and uncle, whose room was adjacent to their parents'. The sisters could overhear their parents arguing loudly from their bedroom. The events that followed were violent and terrible. Both children left the cabin and walked to their grandparents' adjoining cabin. Upon entering, they listened to their parents' conversation, and then heard a loud noise and Kristy screaming. The girls rushed to the balcony next to their parents' cabin, and attempted to enter via the glass sliding doors, but were unable to enter. However, the shouts quickly evolved into terrified screams and pleas for aid. As they pounded on the window and begged Manzanares to stop abusing their mother, the records claim that they both witnessed Manzanares sitting on top of Kristy on the bed and pounding her in the head with his fists. Manzanares turned and proceeded to hit Kristy while looking at the girls. Kenneth was unable to control his surging emotions as he struck Kristy across the face, causing terrifying cries to resound throughout the Emerald Princess. The girls attempted to enter their parents' room as Kenneth warned them not to enter. For the following 5 minutes, Kenneth continued to bash Kristy's skull, causing her to lose consciousness. Dallas, Kristy's brother, was eventually located when the girls started knocking on the doors of the other family members' cabins. Dallas reached the couple's cabin and tried to enter using the cabin key, but it was useless. Dallas jumped from his balcony onto the Manzanares' balcony after sprinting back to his cabin and making a call for help. Kristy was exhausted by Kenneth's disorderly behavior. Kristy screamed loudly, asking for a divorce from Kenneth. It seems like Kristy had repressed her feelings for a long time, and now she was going to end her tortuous marriage for good. Kristy's brother found Kenneth on the balcony covered in blood and asked him what he had done, to which Kenneth replied, "She wouldn't stop laughing at me." The cabin was covered in blood. Kenneth Manzanares and his brother-in-law started to argue while one of the daughters raced to gather the rest of the family from the dining room. Dallas intervened as Manzanares tried to bring his dying wife onto the balcony by grabbing her by the arms. They witnessed Kenneth dragging Kristy's body as he attempted to dispose of her in the untamed ocean. Then, Kristy's brothers intervened and rescued her from the confused Kenneth. Kristy's father arrived at the cabin and tried to render aid to Kristy, who was unrecognizable. It was immediately apparent to Kristy's father that she was not going to survive her injuries, as she was not breathing nor had a pulse. The medical crew on board raced to Kristy's rescue when she became unconscious. However, it was too late, as Kristy had already passed away from the devastating blows Kenneth had delivered to her skull. What Kristy's family had just seen left them in absolute disbelief. The police were summoned to prevent Kenneth from escaping easily. The police immediately arrested Kenneth and transported Kristy's remains for a forensic examination. A thorough investigation led the police to recognize Kenneth's long-standing bipolar condition. Kenneth had also been receiving medicine for his condition. The police thought that Kenneth murdered Kristy during a manic episode. A few days later, the autopsy report confirmed that Kristy died at the scene from a blow to the head and her face. The prosecution sought a life sentence for Manzanares because of their claims that he had a history of anger problems. In court papers, it was said that during the deadly assault, the defendant used his fist like a hammer on the face of his wife. The defense team for Manzanares said that their client had an IQ of 80, was brain damaged from playing contact sports, and had no past criminal history. Throughout his childhood, Manzanares participated in football, wrestling, and boxing. According to the defense, the damage led to an abnormal outburst of aggression that was exacerbated by untreated bipolar illness, a problematic mix of prescription medicine and alcohol and other factors. Kenneth ultimately pled guilty to Kristy's murder after a 3-year court battle. Kenneth was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison in February 2020 for the second-degree murder of his wife. A 5-year period of supervised release followed Kenneth's lengthy sentence, but he was destined never to complete his jail term. Barely 5 weeks into his sentence, he was found dead in his cell at the Lemon Creek Correctional Center in Alaska. According to police, no foul play was involved in Kenneth's death, as the case was thoroughly investigated by Alaska's state troopers, along with medical examiners who later concluded the death to have no suspicious circumstances. The Kristy Manzanares case is a tragic reminder of the dangers that can lurk within even the closest of relationships. Her sudden death serves as a cautionary tale, urging us all to be vigilant about the warning signs of domestic violence. Tell us about your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of this kind of marriage? What do you think that they should have done to avoid what happened? Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.